All right. Came across your page. Love your thank you. Consider making a video about leaving Mormonism / your childhood. I mean, my childhood on paper was, how would you say, perfect? I mean, born and raised, Southeast Idaho, grew up in a bubble. That's what I call it. I call it that, where it was like perfect, like white picket fence, perfect. You had your friends, you went to church with your friends, and everything was about the Mormon church. And if you started acting weird or saying things, your friends would be like, oh my gosh, don't say that, don't talk like that. And then you realize that you're kind of like not like them. And in my case, growing up in my family, being the youngest of 6, that, was one thing, but I had a massive brain injury at the age of 6 that basically royally fucked up, my entire existence. I mean, it was, the 80s and the 90s, and you're just trying to fit in, and fitting in means dating boys, and boys never wanted anything to do with me because I was that weird girl. Look out for the weirdos. But like I said, in my family, it was just like, oh, she needs to be really careful. She can't go do this. She needs to wear a helmet every time she goes and does this, because if she hits her head again, she could die, like massive, parental shelter, super sheltered. But adding that into Mormonism, I think Mormons, super shelter their kids, but because they don't want them to be worldly or part of the world. And I tried, I really did, and I really believed it, and I would repeat everything that, you were supposed to repeat, because there's a lot of repeating in the Mormon church, because that's how they brainwash you, is by repetition. Repetition, repetition, you are this, you're a cookie cutout version of everybody else. And I didn't want to be like everybody else. That was not my goal in life. I mean, it was, but then you get to a point where you're just like, why would I want to be like everybody else? But in Mormonism, that's it. They want you to be a clone of each other. They don't want you to have your own ideas. They don't want you thinking outside of their perception of what a woman should be and what a woman should do, and what kind of life she should have, and that her goal and her role in life is just to be a wife and a mother and to pop out as many babies as Heavenly Father would let her, and serve her husband and obey and blah, blah, blah. How? My mind may have been fucked, but as far as what I wanted to do for myself in my life, it didn't want to take that in. It didn't want to be that cookie cutter copy of everybody. But like I said, I kept pretending, because if, fake it till you make it, no. And then I got into the body modifications because I was like, the scriptures say, the body is a temple, no tattoos, piercings, blah. But they didn't say anything about branding, and I was like, I can do my own tattoos / branding / body modification, and I'll be okay. Bishops didn't like that, though. One of them said, it's okay. Sometimes Satan gets the best of us. And that's when I was like, really? Satan made me do this to myself? Satan. So and this is where reality hit. Because this is what Mormons do. They give Satan all the credit. They say, oh, Satan made you do this. This is Satan's, it's like, why? It's like, you might as well be, worshiping Satan, you Mormons, because you give Satan credit for everything. So I was with one of my best friends at the time, and we both were sick and tired of church, but we kept going, But then we didn't want to go to all of our meetings, so we only went to some. And then the bishops there, different bishop, were like, ladies, there's two types of Mormons. There's the social Mormons who go to some of their meetings, and then there's the ones who really are, in it. And you need to decide which ones you are. And I looked over at my friend, and I was like, did you hear him? We need to decide. And I looked at her, I was like, let's go. And we never went back. But we dressed, in our church clothes and pretended to go to church, and all the while riding around on my friend's motorcycle until our parents found out. Well, my parents. She couldn't tell hers. I was done pretending to be this perfect daughter that I wasn't. I got sick and tired of it, and I was like, I'm done. And it totally destroyed my mother. But I was done with the fake shit. I don't like being fake. I don't like pretending to be something I'm not. Who lives their life that way? Oh yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. In fact, I think most people do. I think that's why I get so much hate from people, is because they see me doing whatever the fuck I want with my body and living however the fuck I want, and they haven't had the courage to do that themselves, so they throw hate at me. To which I say, I hope you feel better about yourself, aka stop pretending to be whatever it is you don't want to be anymore. And the funny thing about leaving church, at this point, I didn't know that it was all a lie. I hadn't found out that it was all a lie yet. It wasn't until maybe 10 years down the road that I discovered Mormon Stories podcast that changed my life and continues to. And I found the ex-Mormon community on this app, actually. Met some really cool people, mostly women, who've left the church too and have gone on to live wonderful lives. But yeah, when I started to find out about the church being a huge lie, oh my gosh, that rocked. That and I'm still recovering. I don't know if I ever will. I'm so angry and so just, because it was like all my life, these lies, just brainwash, and then you see your family who's still in it, and you're just like, oh my god, you're giving your money so that the church can hire lawyers to keep their pedophiles in the church, and and then they excommunicate truth seekers and historians who've actually found out the truth about Joseph Smith and have put it out there that he married his 14-year-old foster daughters and had multiple wives of women who were under the age of 18. And don't give me this bullshit like that was normal back in the 1800s. I mean, he sent his cousin on a mission so he could marry his cousin's wife. Joseph Smith was a sick bastard. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And so when you start learning all this stuff and you're starting to see things unravel and you're seeing what's happening still in the Mormon church with Jody Hildebrandt and Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell and all this cult crap, and you're like, holy shit, and Ruby Frankie, and all in the name of religion and God. All I can hope to see is that more people start speaking out about the toxicity of the Mormon church, and that, I don't know, finally some people get put in jail for covering up. The Mormon church is notorious for covering up thousands and thousands of SA cases. Thousands. I've had women come to me and tell me their stories. And how, yeah, daddy got a slap on the wrist, but they excommunicated me because I was going to talk, so hope that was what you were looking for. My time's almost up. If you're still here, welcome to the shit show that is called life. And dealing with it in whatever way, if you're not hurting anybody, live your best life. Every day.